Of course, the authorization for a COVID-19 vaccine for younger kids is expected to have a positive impact in keeping schools safe. But at the same time, the White House is also refocusing its attention on COVID testing in schools. For more on that, we're joined by Education Secretary Dr. Miguel Cardona. Doctor, thank you so much for joining us. Now, the Biden administration announced a plan today working with the Rockefeller Foundation to encourage schools to set up surveillance COVID testing for schools. So how would this plan work, and why does the administration view this as an important effort now, several months into the school year?
Right. Thank you. Yes, we're hearing from the field, and we know testing is critically important. And what we're hearing is that some technical assistance on this would be helpful. We know that President Biden announced $10 billion for testing, and we're hearing from states and districts that they want to hear best practices about this. So I'm really, really thrilled that the Department of Education, along with CDC and the Rockefeller Foundation, are teaming up to provide technical support and assistance and best practices in this area, which will include office hours. So districts can call us and say, this is what I'm struggling with. How can I get this going? We know testing is a part of the suite of strategies to make sure our students are safe and they're uninterrupted in their in-person learning.
And you touched on it there. The $10 billion for this type of school testing effort was designated last spring, but some states rejected their share and others have been slow to use it. One survey found that less than 15% of the nation's largest 100 schools were using the money. Can you explain the slow uptake and why you think this new effort will be more successful?
Well, I do believe it's going to be successful. We've heard from educators across the country that they're looking for this. As you know, the Delta variant hit right when we were reopening schools. Energies toward reopening schools and making sure we were staffed enough to reopen our schools was the priority. As schools are open now, educators and leaders across the country are looking at ways to keep their schools open and continue to build confidence in our community. And one way to do that is to make sure that they're lifting up those testing protocols. And part of this is also for us to communicate with states and districts how they can do this in a way that doesn't disrupt the education experience for students, and learn from ways other states are doing it or other districts are doing it. The Rockefeller Foundation has a lot of experience doing this. They worked in Seattle, Louisville, and in other places to make sure it's done effectively and expeditiously. So we want to take advantage of their expertise, their background, to make this possible for more districts and more states.
And let's talk about the timeline here. We'll likely see vaccines available for young children as soon as next week if the CDC authorization comes through. But we have seen polling showing higher hesitancy among parents on getting young children vaccinated right away. So what will the administration be doing to address that hesitancy in your efforts to keep schools safe from COVID?
Right. As a father, I can tell you when my children, who are teenagers, were able to be vaccinated, I breathed a little bit easier. And I know across the country next week, millions of parents are going to feel the same way, because now 5 to 11-year-olds we're expecting are going to be eligible for vaccines. So it is a step in the right direction toward having this pandemic in a rearview mirror. And younger children, the parents of younger children may be a little bit more hesitant, a little bit more nervous about this. But what we're doing is leading with our medical experts, communicating the safety of this, the importance of this. Parents trust their pediatrician. They also trust members of their school community. We were on a call today with the National PTA president talking about how we can work together to make sure that we're communicating effectively how this is safe, how it protects our students, our schools, and our entire community.
And you said last month you supported mandatory shots for older teens, but there hasn't been widespread uptake of that in many states. Given how contentious debates on mask and vaccine mandates have been, do you think it's realistic to expect vaccine mandates for either younger or older kids to get implemented this school year at all?
Well, we know it works, right? So for me, it's really about the state and local leaders making decisions for their community. And I think that's where the decision needs to be. But we know in places where vaccinations are higher, there's less disruption in school. For me, I really want to make sure our students have access to in-person learning. They've suffered enough. They've been disrupted enough. We know vaccines work. It's the best strategy we have battling COVID-19. And I encourage, when you're eligible, to get vaccinated and breathe a little bit easier, not just because you're vaccinated, but because you're protecting those around you.
And finally, on the social infrastructure bill working its way through Congress, the framework we've seen includes billions of dollars for universal pre-K for 3- and 4-year-olds. Now, if that passes, what are the biggest challenges on getting that rolled out so parents can take advantage?
Listen, transformational change is coming in education. Thanks to this framework, thanks to pre-kindergarten programming for children across the country, funding to increase access to college health, funding for programming, workforce development programs in our colleges. I'm really excited as an educator with this shift that's coming in education. And you mentioned the challenge. Listen, there's opportunity here to partner with states. We know educators across the country will tell you early childhood education is critical. And we have an opportunity now to work with our states, work with our early childhood education leaders to make it happen. We're going to work with our states. We're going to work with those who are doing it already, those who are champions for it, to find the best strategies to engage parents and engage our youngsters who grow more when they have early childhood education. We know this investment, $1 for early childhood education, has a return on investment of $3 to $7. So it's good for the community. Most importantly, it's good for those youngsters to have a good start.
Education Secretary Dr. Miguel Cardona, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.